Hey, what's up, guys? I wanted to review this movie I just checked out from 1988 called Death Row Game Show. And this came out from Vinegar Syndrome, I think like 2 or 3 years ago, and it's always been on my radar to check out. Just because I dig the name of it, and the cover always kind of intrigued me, but I literally knew nothing about it when I bought it. I didn't know what to expect. I was just at Grindhouse Video one day and was walking down, saw it, so I figured pick it up. I mean, Vinegar Syndrome, you can't really go wrong when it's as far as horror and all that goes. But right off rip, this isn't really a horror movie, but it's if you're a fan of horror, I definitely recommend checking it out. Just because it does have a genre type vibe to it. It's because essentially it's really a black comedy. Really dark comedy. It's this guy who's on the cover there who was really the standout of the whole movie, John McCafferty. Really badass performance, but he is a game show host for the Death Row Game Show, and basically these inmates on death row, they go on a game show, and if they win the questions right, they're free and all that, or they if they get the questions wrong, they're killed, which they were on death row anyways, so. But they get to answer questions, so their families get money and all that, and it's a really interesting kind of premise. I really dug the way the game show looked, the whole premise, how it was filmed was really cool. And then, but there's more to it. Because that's kind of what I was expecting, was just the whole movie to be the game show almost. Just that's the vibe I got from the cover. But really, it's his background thing too, because once he's off air on the game show, it shows his home life, and he's a womanizer and all that, and everybody hates him, and because they think what he's doing is just really crummy and just really bad taste and all that, which it was. But you could tell they're kind of playing a lot of messages on how we look at TV and society in general. There's a lot of stuff like that in it, but it was actually a pretty funny movie, but there was some good deaths in it and everything. It's like I said, it's a really black comedy. Don't go into this expecting a lot of horror or gore or anything, but he ends up talking to this woman who hates his whole thing, and she ends up getting with him and all that, and there's that whole thing. And then there's a little subplot where this mobster, his mom goes on the game show, and she dies somehow on the game show, which I don't want to give anything away, but it's funny how that happens. But then the mobster is kind of coming to kill him and his girlfriend and all that, and there's the whole how all that plays out. So it's a really interesting movie. It's really short, only 81 minutes, so after credits it's only like an hour, 15 minutes tops. But picture looks stunning. Vinegar Syndrome always does an amazing job with it, and this is why I love Vinegar Syndrome. The fact that they put this out, you could tell that this was a really low budget, like straight to VHS movie, and you could tell it would have been really obscure, and it's just crazy that they released this thing. But scanned from 2K Elements, like I said, looks amazing. Commentary track, which I never listened to, but I'm going to next time I watch it. Revisiting Death Row Game Show, a making of documentary. I did watch that, and it was pretty interesting, entertaining. And then there's a 2015 director's cut of Death Row Game Show. Now, I don't know what all that includes, but I clicked it, and it has the same runtime as this, so I don't know exactly what the difference is with that, but hey, I don't know. And then multiple director introductions. I listened to one of the introductions, and it's him now kind of sitting in like a bar, and he basically introduces the movie. Pretty cool to watch beforehand. 2 short films, Buns and The Spy Who Did It Better, which actually star the main guy in this. Pretty entertaining. Theatrical trailer, image gallery, reversible cover art, and I'll just show you all the reversible cover art. That's the reverse, and I kind of like the one that Vinegar Syndrome actually made for it. But yeah, I definitely recommend picking this up if you like a little humor and stuff like that every once in a while. It's a really lighthearted, well, not really, I mean, it deals with some really dark subject matter, but I mean, it's like a light, easy watch to view. It's just a really entertaining film. I had a whole lot of fun with it. Picture was great, story was great, the performances were over the top, but it added to the charm of it. You know what I mean? If you could find this for $15 or cheaper, I definitely recommend picking it up. But yeah, that was my review for Death Row Game Show. Really awesome movie. Really glad to have it in the collection. exceeded my expectations. I liked it better than I actually thought it would, just because of this guy's performance alone. Awesome performance, and there's a nightmare sequence that makes the ticket price worth it too. Really awesome nightmare sequence that's really goofy, really over the top. And yeah, just really love that film. I can't really recommend it enough. Anyways, guys, peace.